Hey, welcome to More to the Game Sports Show. I'm your host, Brandon Moore. Again, I always give thanks. I want to thank you all for your undying support. Keep sharing, keep talking about it. If you're not talking about it, start talking about it. Just everything. I can't tell you how appreciative I am of the support for this show. Hey, big time show today. Big time show today. Listen, I'm checking my sources right now on some information, topics that we're going to talk about today. We are going to jump right in it. Jump right in it. First of all, let's just say this. Indiana and Kentucky are by far, check this out though, by far the two states that I think have the greatest basketball foundation ever in the country. I'm not knocking New York. I'm not knocking Chicago. I'm not knocking the South. I'm not knocking it at all. I'm just saying the two best states that literally do nothing but basketball, and they show it. Okay, and they show it. So listen, first things first. Let me give a shout out to Great Crossing, who in the beginning, I want to say 9 episodes ago, or 8 or 7 episodes ago, we talked about my favorites for the Kentucky State Championship. And what would I say? I said it was either St. X, let me see, Butler was in there, J-Town was in there, Mel was in there, and Great Crossing was in there. So I'm telling you, congratulations to Great Crossing on winning the Kentucky 2025 Sweet 16 State Championship. Listen, them boys was bad. Them boys are good. They got Malachi Marino on there. He is a stud. He's just everything about that team was good. Now, the favorites, it was a crazy week, right? The favorites, St. X, were the favorites, went down to who I said was a sleeper, J-Town. Who I said was a sleeper in J-Town. It was a shocker. It was. It has nothing to do with Coach Richard Duncan and what he's doing over in J-Town. It's just facts for facts, stats for stats. Going into that game, St. X was a favorite. J-Town, Cam McDaniels, Richard Duncan played outstanding and won. They failed the next game. That's okay. Great job. Hey, Region 6 and Region 7, way to put on the show. Again, it's going to be the same thing next year. But again, congratulations to Great Crossing. Also, Indiana, let me tell y'all something. So Kentucky has one state champion. That's it. 16 regions say Kentucky, one state champion. Now, Indiana, let's see, Kentucky does Rupp Arena, completely sells out Rupp Arena. Indiana, Gamebridge for high school state champion. 3A and 4A. I'm going to tell you something. Those games, I went up there, caught those games. Those games were classics. Listen, you had Christmas Addicts, legendary Black High School. Oscar Robertson went there. They won their first state championship outside of what he did a few years ago. He was able to give them the medal, everything. It was a pretty cool sight. Playing St. Joe's, who was going for their first state championship. And obviously the favorites were Christmas Addicts. They had Desmond Briscoe and company. Where's the St. Joe's? They got Ethan Roseman, Shrewsbury. The sophomore's name. He's number 10. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, but he's number 10 for St. Joe's. I'm going to tell you, he is a complete stud. But anyway, they played classic game. St. Joe's for the win. Congratulations, 3A state championship. Ethan Roseman, St. Joseph out of South Bend, Indiana. And then going to 4A, which was, when I say probably one of the best high school games I'd ever witnessed. Yeah, Fishers High School, who was literally on a 43-game winning streak. I think they were ranked top 10 in the nation. Everything about them, from their point guard all the way down to the manager, is elite of the elite. They was playing Jeffersonville High School, who literally gets it out the mud. They get it out the mud, but they got a coach who won their first state championship in 1993, Sherrod Wilkerson. And I'm gonna tell you something. Trust me when I tell you this. Trust me when I tell you this. Them boys were ready to play. They had Trey Singleton, who's going to Northwestern, 6'8", every bit of 6'8", and he is a complete stud. And I'm gonna tell you, when he figured out that there's nobody on Fisher's team that could stop him, guess what he did? He completely dominated. But as Fisher did what Fisher does, man, they ain't going away. They're not going away. They're gonna stay in that game. They're gonna play. They're gonna D up. They're gonna hit shots. All the good stuff. Jeffersonville gets them in OT, and I mean, what a sight it was! What a sight it was for Jeffersonville High School, which is right across the bridge from Louisville. So shout out to Jeffersonville High School for winning the Indiana High School state championship. Now let's talk about NCAA. Whew, man, I'm gonna tell you, it's so crazy. It's like I'm not even gonna talk about who's left. Yes, four number one seeds. Four number one seeds are left. Auburn, Houston, Duke, and Florida. The the crazy thing is this. The crazy thing is throughout the tournament, that damn transfer portal. I mean, and I'm not gonna say for kids, for the players, but it's a transfer. They like unquestionably issued a transfer portal for coaches. It is in the tournament, and you are talking about some coaches that are leaving their programs and they still got a game to play. Crazy, right? And then the ultimate transfer portal with players. And it's one of those deals where the impact of the transfer portal and what it is teaching our kids. Now, is there some benefit to it? It is. You know, coming from being a fellow college athlete, and a lot of my friends were, a lot of my colleagues were. I do believe that players should get paid for playing because it is a full time job. When you go to college, full time job, you can't have no side hustle. I mean, you can have a side hustle, but you can't have no job. You're up 5:30, if not earlier than that. You're late. You're doing homework. You're traveling with homework. Your weekends are packed because whether you're going to have meetings or workouts or games or travel, whatever the case may be, you don't have time for that. So I do believe with all the money that the schools are making, the athletic departments should be getting something, should be paid. Now, at the same time, I'm an 80s baby. So I grew up where it was very rare that your parents talk back, that anybody talk back to coaches. It was you didn't feel entitled. You were outside all day. You drank from the water hose on the side of the house that you had to let run to get some of that dirt out, but also go from hot to cold. So you grew up in a generation where you literally work for everything, and you build this foundation of hard work, right? Fast forward to this generation. These dudes ain't working hard for real. And now it's so much of a social media game. How many likes you get? I mean, quick money, all this type of stuff, right? So now when a kid goes to a school, and it's funny. I talked about this before. It's funny. Last year, I remember Jim Larinaga when Miami, I believe they went to the Final Four, something like that. Instead of them talking about, hey, plans on the game, plans coming back next year, so on and so on. He had players telling him that they're gonna hit the portal. Look at it this year. Rick Pitino came out during the turn and said, "Hey, I know I got players that are gonna leave and hit the portal." It's crazy. It's crazy, and you're talking good players that literally can make a stand and make their legacy at a school so big and important. So big and important. That's what it's like. And it's just crazy to know that kids are here today, gone tomorrow because of some zeros. Now, I'm not saying not go out and get your money. I'm not saying at all. What I'm saying is, what are we really teaching them? What are we really teaching them now? Right? I take the stance. I take the stance of Michigan State coach, one of my favorites, Tom Izzo. I am worried about the players that I have right now that are suiting up that are gonna play. Because this is the thing where it gets me, right? Because this is big time season. This is AAU season. And AAU season is probably one of the worst about transfer portals or anything. And I'm gonna tell you this. I was talking to my wife, who's been around basketball all her life, and I remember she was telling me that the AAU, especially in in different states, right, different states, there's no loyalty. There's literally is no loyalty. You got kids that want to be stars that don't work hard, right? But they have this entitlement, like, oh, I'm good, I'm this, I'm this. But it's like you only want to do the small things to prevent you from having big problems. So now you're really not really going to get recruited because these coaches are going to say you don't even work hard. You don't even work hard. Like there's no loyalty in AAU. It's like the transfer portal. It's like the transfer portal. Very rare do you find a team that's been together for more than 2 seasons. For more than 2 seasons. Because when you get there, here's the funny thing: when you get that, you win. You do. You get that, you win. You get that. You're teaching these kids through thick and thin. We're gonna stay together. Through thick and thin, we got to figure it out. You have a level of accountability that's gonna be there. And on top of that, the parents are involved, but the parents keep their mouth shut. You show up, you look forward to seeing your friends who become family that next season. You look forward to that. You look forward to that. But you also look forward to seeing some brand new faces. Right. And then on top of that, it's the pro to having new faces is you're teaching your kids how to trust people that you may not know, right? You're teaching them how to trust people that you may not know. But at the same time, it's like, what are we really teaching these kids with this transfer portal? Like, if coaches are doing it, then it's like before you kind of felt bad for coaches, right? Because coaches' jobs were predicated on how kids perform, which is true, right? I've always believed that coaches should not get fired because of how kids perform, because they're not playing the game. Like they're not playing a coach is not playing the game. A coaching staff develops, they come up with a game plan, you go out, you try to execute. Right. But when you have kids that if your kids decide to show up and shortcut a drill, if they decide not to do the small things, if they decide to do all this and you end up losing a game or have lose the season, that coach gets fired. But why can't coaches do players like that? Think about that. Why can't they do players like that? If a player is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, why can't a coach fire that player? Think about the state of basketball right now as a whole, right? Just think about it. Where is the accountability at for players and coaches? Where is it at? What are we teaching our kids? When things get tough, I'm gonna leave. Ah man, I had an okay season. You know what? I'm gonna put my name in the transfer portal and try to get more money. You're not going to help yours. You're not going to because a coach can get you better. These players are leaving for money, and it's like, is that the end all be all? Now, are they keeping kids in school longer? Yes, because no longer do we have the one and done. It's like we don't have that decade where it was like, man, you just had a ton of one and dones. Nowadays, kids are just trying to decide, oh, I'm gonna stay another year or two. I can get money. I can get more money than what I'm making. But at the same time, how can a coach really do his job effectively and try to build something that is repetitive over and over and over again if he doesn't know? who's gonna stay? You know, think about that. What are we teaching our kids, right? AAU is again. I've been coaching AAU for over 12 years. I've had teams that finished top in the nation, top 10 in the nation. I've had teams that didn't do nothing. Then I've had teams that literally were really, really good teams. But then the next year you lose players because of quote unquote shoe circuits and quote unquote this and that. But then it's like, the kids that you have, you want to pour everything into because you appreciate them showing some type of loyalty, right? But then it's like when you get new kids and you're trying to plug them in and you realize, man, I got this dude over here that's gonna do X, Y, and Z, and I've been begging this dude to do X, Y, and Z, and he just ain't gonna do it. There's the accountability right there because now it gets to a point where, as an AAU coach, you have to develop, give them a platform, give them that exposure, and try to put them in a situation to where a coach is going to see them and want them to play for them on the next level. That's it. You're but at the same time, you're also looking at you impacted him on and off the court. That's what you do, impacted him on and off the court. So my thing is, you know, what I try to tell kids is is you gotta understand what these coaches really looking for. Because if you start holding them accountable in a atmosphere like practice, then maybe holding them accountable in life is gonna be a little bit easier. Teaching them to stick it out when things get tough. So then when they go to college and they have an off season or the team has an off season, they're rebuilding, things like that, they're not gonna be like, oh here, let me hit the transfer portal. Because this is the thing, the more money there is, it's like Biggie Smalls, man. More money, more problems. Literally, more money, more problems. And it's almost like, where are you happy at? Right? Where are you happy? Is it having all this money, but yet you're miserable, or you're trying to figure out how can I be happy, or is it having some money, but at the same time understand like, man, I spent 4 years here. We grinded. We did everything we're supposed to do. All that. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? Hey, email me, tweet me, do all that stuff. Let me know what you think. Right? Let me know what you think because you're gonna subscribe, and that link tree is at the bottom too. Right? You're gonna subscribe, and that link tree is at the bottom. So just think about that. Think about that. Okay. But yeah, the state it's where is the state of basketball right now? Like literally, where is the state? But I'm gonna read y'all something here that I that I got here. My coaches and I we're in a group chat and they're good friends of mine. And I'm kind of on your group chat you can name it, and I named it The Town. The Town because I love that movie, man. The Town, that movie is a classic, man. With all the friends and all that stuff, and they go rob the banks and all that type stuff. Not that I'm telling anybody to do that. Not that I'm telling anybody to do that. But it's crazy because I look at this and I'm saying, you know, we as a coach, we try to instill discipline and patience. We try to instill that, like, hey, you gotta go hard, man. You gotta go hard. You gotta go hard. You gotta go hard because if you do this stuff now, when you get out in college, it's gonna be a little bit easier. It's not gonna be a shock. It's not gonna be new to you. But at the same time, you're teaching them in life as well. You teach them in life. Attitude is everything. I can't find it. I'm looking for it right now. But attitude is everything. It's everything, right? And yes, it hurts because it's well not hurts. It's a little different because nowadays parents parents are just as bad. They're just as bad as ever. You're talking parents, and man, that conversation on the way to the game, in between games, but then on top of that, on the way home from the game, that conversation literally will set the tone for the kids, and literally would set the tone for the kids for that next game, that next day, and practice. Crazy, crazy, right? It's just different, right? It's just different, and it's like, you know when you're watching the college basketball now, and it's like we're 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 kids, used to take pride in, and just a simple basic move, setting a screen or diving on the floor. That stuff used to get praised. Now they don't even look at that stuff. They don't even look at that stuff. So I don't know. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? But anyway, so in the portal, in the portal. So Kuminga, I don't know if you know him, was center for Kansas. He literally is slated to be the guy over the next 2-3 years in the portal. Xavier Booker from Michigan State, in the portal, right? And you're talking these players were number one coming out of their class. I believe Kuminga was number one center when he came out 3 years ago. Xavier Booker came out before him. He's projected number one center or player in his class. I mean, you're looking at it like, why are you hitting the portal? And again, I'm not saying the portal is such a bad thing. I'm just saying the abuse of the portal, and what are we teaching these kids, right? What is it that we're teaching these kids? So I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts on it? But hey, listen, the state of basketball. I'm excited to see where this is gonna go. I really am. Now it's AAU season, so now you start traveling. You're getting to see these kids. You're getting to see a whole lot of basketball. A whole lot of, some of it good. Some of it was like, what are we doing here? Let me think about that. But yeah, let me know. Let me know what you think. Please let me know what you think. But again, shout out to those state winners out of Indiana and Kentucky. If you're on an AAU circuit, let me know what circuit you're on. Maybe I'll have you on as a guest. I know I've been talking about having a guest on for so long, but I promise I'm gonna have one. I promise I'm gonna have. I promise I'll have a guest. Have a guest on and talk. And talk. But you got to remember, man. If you're an athlete listening to this, if you're a coach listening to this, your coach continue to push to the limit. If you're an athlete, listen, man, take care of the small things so you don't have big problems. Please take care of the small things so you don't have big problems. You have to prepare for the level that you want to go to. You have to prepare like it. There was was it a meme or a little video on one of the social media platforms? I want to say TikTok. There was a coach. There was a coach that said, it was women's basketball coach was talking to a recruit and said, you want to play Division One. Recruit says, yeah, I absolutely want to play Division One. She says, okay, can you guard this Division One player? If you can't guard in the high school, if you can't guard at the high school level, the way they guard at the Division One level, the coach pointed out, you're not ready for it. You're not ready for it. It's like Tom Izzo. Tom Izzo talks about defense. Talks about a player should want to play defense because it makes offense that much easier. It's so much easier to have a wide open layup because you got to steal. It's really easy. It's really easy to get, to start a break off a deflection. It's easy to have your teammates back just by talking on defense. Right? It's fun seeing your teammate take a charge at a crucial moment of the game and you get the ball and then you go down and you score. It's easy because you should want to play defense. Nowadays, kids don't want to play defense. They don't even want to box out. And it's like, why? Where's basketball? Where's basketball going? Where is basketball going right now? How can we get back to that? Right? How can we get back to that? I don't know. But hey, future shows, man, this is stuff we're going to be talking about here. We're going to dive deep. We're going to dive deep into sports, but all at the same time, the mental aspect, the financial aspect, all of it, the emotional aspect, we're going to dive into it. Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's show. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Remember, the link tree is at the bottom there. We're on Apple, we're on all that stuff, and hit the subscribe button. Again, let me know what kind of backdrop I should get, maybe a picture or something. Let me know what I should get. Thank you. Hey, always remember, there's more to the game. Peace.